The Brewers' pitching could be described as fishy this weekend, allowing 29 runs and 34 hits in the first two games of the weekend series against Texas. On Sunday, though, B.J. Surhoff would give his club a 1-0 lead as he would break a scoreless tie in the bottom of the fourth with his RBI single. This would drive in Dante Bichette, and Milwaukee takes a 1-0 lead. In the bottom of the fifth, a rather unique play with Paul Molitor at the plate. Third baseman Dean Palmer would catch this one actually right between his thighs. As we'll look again as Palmer grabs the ball and then throws out Molitor at first base. Top of the seventh now, Texas would tie the game up. Brian Downing hits his 12th home run of the year, and this would spoil Chris Bosio's shutout attempt. And it would also tie the game at 1 apiece. Still in the top of the seventh, it would be Ruben Sierra who delivered the go-ahead run as he singles to right field. This would drive home Julio Franco, and Texas takes a 2-1 lead. On the very next pitch of the game, Brewer manager Tom Trebelhorn would see Bosio hit Kevin Reimer in the right thigh with this pitch. Reimer then would charge the mound. Bosio gets a good punch in with his right hand, and then the benches would clear and a bench-clearing brawl would ensue. When all of this would be sorted out, both Bosio and Reimer would be ejected from the game. Again, this happening in the top of the seventh with one man out. Bobby Valentine, the Rangers manager, trying to keep peace. But Reimer and Bosio both ejected, as we'll look one more time at the pitch that hits Kevin Reimer in the thigh. And then he comes out to charge Chris Bosio, and the brawl would start. And Bosio can't figure out why he was thrown out of this game. And the bench-clearing brawl obviously having a spillover effect into the crowd. Texas still leading 2-1 now in the bottom of the ninth. B.J. Surhoff, the leadoff batter, hit this line drive, and Dean Palmer, now out in left field, would drop the ball for a two-base error. And then with the Brewers still batting with 2 outs in the ninth, remember, if Palmer catches that ball, this game is over, but he didn't, and Paul Molitor drops this single in front of him to score Surhoff and tie the game at 2 apiece. And then Willie Randolph with Molitor on the run hits this one to right center field. And the center fielder, Juan Gonzalez, misplays this one into a double. Molitor scores with 2 outs in the ninth, and Milwaukee wins by the final of 3-2. Chuck Krim, the winner, 6-5. Jeff Russell, the loser, 3-4.
From Oakland on Sunday afternoon, the A's hosting the Minnesota Twins. We start in the top of the first inning. The Twins score 3 runs in this inning. Here, Ken Hrbek lines a single to left field. Ricky Henderson's throw will be wide of the plate, allowing Kirby Puckett to score from second base. RBI number 56 for Hrbek, and the Twins led 1-0. Then later in the top of the first inning, a controversial play. Chili Davis doubles down the right field line. It scores Ken Hrbek from second base, and here you see Tony La Russa out of the corner of your frame arguing the call before the play even ended. He thought the ball was a foul ball. Nevertheless, it counted, and the Twins led 2-0. Then later in the top of the first inning, Mike Pagliarulo singles to center field, scoring Chili Davis from second base. RBI number 21 for Pagliarulo, and the Twins led 3-0. Then in the top of the third inning, Shane Mack doubles off of the right field wall, scoring Chili Davis from third base. RBI number 44 for Mack, and the Twins led 4-0. The winning pitcher in this game, Scott Erickson, went 6 2/3 innings, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, he gets Ernest Riles to ground out. Scott Erickson improves his record to 15-3. He's the first pitcher in the major leagues to win 15 games. But then in the bottom of the fifth inning, the A's get on the board. Brooke Jacoby doubles to left center field, scoring Jamie Quirk, and the score was 4-1. Then in the bottom of the eighth inning, a big argument over balls and strikes. That's Dave Duncan, the pitching coach for the A's, getting very excited. Duncan and manager Tony La Russa were thrown out of the game because of this argument. Then in the top of the ninth inning, with the Twins leading 5-2, Chili Davis belts a solo home run to left field, his 25th home run of the year, and that's a career high for Davis, and the Twins defeat the A's 6-2.
Sunny summer Sunday afternoon in Cleveland as the Kansas City Royals face off with the Indians. Gary Thurman batting in a scoreless game in the second inning against Dave Otto, the starter for Cleveland. Thurman RBI single into right field as Bill Pecota crosses the plate with the game's first run. Thurman goes to second on the throw home, 1-0 KC in the second. Nice seats, buddy. You pay a lot for 'em? It remains a 1-0 Kansas City lead through the middle innings thanks to Brett Saberhagen, here striking out Mike Aldretti to end the 4th inning. Danny Tartable and Warren Cromartie looking pretty cool in the dugout. Top of the 9th inning, and the Kansas City Royals get an insurance run off of Sean Hilligus in relief as Gary Thurman gets a sacrifice fly. Glenn Allen Hill makes a catch, but Todd Benzinger scores easily, 2-0 KC, Thurman with both RBIs in this game. And Hal McRae says, well, why can't all games be like this? An easy 2-0 game, 9th inning, my ace, Brett Saberhagen on the mound, who finishes it off in the 9th with 2 away. He's facing Carlos Baerga, and Baerga hits one that Terry Shumpert makes the great play on, and that's the last out of the ball game. The Kansas City Royals defeat the Cleveland Indians by a final of 2-0. Saberhagen with a 3-hit shutout increases his record to 8-5, while Dave Otto falls to 0-2.
Yankees looking to avoid the 3-game sweep in Detroit on Sunday afternoon, and they take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the 3rd, but Travis Fryman would even up the score as he hits a solo home run, his 15th of the year. This coming off Yankee starter Wade Taylor. Fryman now with 58 RBI, and the Tigers tied this game up at 1 apiece. Then on the top of the 4th, after a Bob Guerin RBI single, makes it 2-1 Yankees. Here it's Bernie Williams with 1 of 2 hits in this game, as he would single up the middle to score Mike Humphreys and then Kevin Moss, and the Yankees take a 4-1 lead as Williams with 3 RBI on the afternoon. Bottom of the 5th now, the score is 4-3 in favor of the Yankees, and Lloyd Mosby would connect for this RBI single, and this would come off reliever Steve Howe and drive in Lou Whitaker to tie the game at 4 apiece. Mosby would go 4 for 6 in this game, and Howe straightens out his catcher, Bob Guerin, on the mound. Now on the top of the 6th, Williams again comes through for the Yankees as the rookie with this double down the left field line would drive in Kevin Moss to make it 5-4 New York. The Yankees would take a 7-4 lead into the bottom of the 7th, but Cecil Fielder takes Lee Guterman deep for his Major League leading 31st home run of the year. This is a 2-run blast. Fielder also leads the majors in RBI with 90. And that would cut the Yankee lead to 7-6 in the bottom of the 9th. Sparky Anderson's club now down to its last strike. The pinch hitter Tony Phillips on a 1-2 pitch from Steve Farr hits his 11th home run of the year, and the solo blast would tie the score at 7 apiece. And then in the bottom of the 10th, the Tigers would proceed to win it with the drawn-in infield and outfield. Lloyd Mosby with 1 out with this single over the head of Hensley Mullins for the game winner. Scott Livingstone scores. Detroit wins in 10 innings by the final of 8-7. Mike Henneman, the winner, 9-2. Steve Farr, the loser, 2-2. Detroit has won 5 straight.
Sunday afternoon in Chicago at Comiskey Park, the White Sox are hosting the Baltimore Orioles. Starter for Baltimore on this day is Mike Mussina, making his Major League debut. Here in the 1st inning, getting Matt Marulo to ground out to end the inning, zip early in the contest. And it remained 0-0 in the middle innings, and this game was full of great plays. Charlie Huff on the mound for Chicago, here facing Cal Ripken in the 4th inning, and Huff is pitching well, probably because of his friends. That's Ozzie Guillen going deep into the hole and getting Ripken at first base. Huff does it himself to end the 4th inning, getting Cheeto Martinez to strike out to end the inning. And yes, it's Chuck the Nuck. You gotta say that nickname very carefully. In the 5th inning, Chuck the Nuck comes against Leo Gomez, a blooper into right field. That's Joey Cora ranging to the foul line and making the great play. Look at the catch by Joey Cora. It remains zip. On to the bottom half of the 5th inning, where in left field it's Joe Orsulak's turn. A fly ball to left field in foul territory hit off the bat of Ozzie Guillen, and Orsulak ranging to the railing, and he doesn't make the play. Haha, fooled you. Anyway, Carlton Fisk and Alex Fernandez playing a bad game of pepper in the bullpen as we remain scoreless. Then in the bottom half of the 6th inning, it's Frank Thomas at the plate, and he lifts one against Mike Mussina deep. And it's out of here for a home run to left field for Frank Thomas, his 22nd homer of the year, 79th RBI. The Sox take a 1-0 lead. Frank Thomas has driven in all the runs in this White Sox series versus Baltimore. Here's a home plate angle replay of the Thomas blast, and this would be the only run of the contest. As Charlie Huff was in form today, the knuckle was knuckling. 8th inning, runners on 2nd and 3rd, 2 away, Dwight Evans at the plate, and Charlie Huff snags the liner to get out of a jam. Then in the 9th inning, Charlie Huff pitches a 1-2-3 inning. With 2 outs, he gets Leo Gomez to ground out to end it. Charlie Huff and the White Sox defeat Baltimore by a final of 1-0 on a 5-hitter by Huff. He's 7-6. Mike Mussina, 0-1.
Mariners manager Jim Lefebvre flossing his teeth between innings on Sunday as the Mariners are in Anaheim to take on the Angels. Bottom of the first, Wally Joyner stakes California to a 2-0 lead with this two-run home run, his 13th of the year. And the Angels lead 2-0, but Ken Griffey Jr. gets one of those runs back in the top of the third with this RBI single. This would drive home Edgar Martinez and cut the Angel lead to 2-1. In the top of the sixth, the Angels would turn in a nifty double play with Pete O'Brien at the plate and a runner on first base. O'Brien hits this one to Joyner, who throws to Dick Schofield. And watch the effort here by Langston. Mark Langston, the former Seattle Mariner, with a nifty play at first base as he whirls around and touches the base just ahead of Pete O'Brien. Calvin Jones now in for the Mariners after Seattle had tied the game in the 7th inning on a sac fly. The bases loaded and one man out in the 9th, but Luis Polonia hits into the 5-2-3 double play. And Dave Valley, the catcher, takes exception to the slide by Dave Gallagher, who went out of his way to knock the ball loose from Valley. The benches would clear, but no punches were thrown as they would head into extra innings. And Lefebvre, still at it with a dental floss, would see his club sweep the Angels for the first time ever. Jay Buhner in the top of the 12th, a 3-run home run with 2 men out, his 20th of the year. It comes off Mike Fetters, and Seattle wins this one 5-2 in 12. Buhner is now homered in 4 consecutive games as the Angels lose their 5th straight contest.
Afternoon from Fenway Park, the Toronto Blue Jays visit Wade Boggs, who's inactive these days, and the Boston Red Sox. Top of the 3rd inning, and Joe Carter bats against Boston starter Greg Harris. Carter fly ball to Ellis Burks in center field. It's Devon White tagging and scoring easily on the plate, 1-0 Jays in the 3rd. Bottom 3, Jack Clark takes a called strike from home plate umpire Jim McKean, and Clark and McKean don't see eye to eye. In that same inning, Mike Greenwell pops up with the bases loaded to end the inning, and Boston seems to be frustrated after Clark. Watch Greenwell's reaction to the pop-up that ends the inning. It remains 1-0 Toronto through the early innings. In the bottom half of the 5th inning, Jack Clark is facing Toronto starter Todd Stottlemyre, and Clark gets all of this one onto Lansdowne Street because it's over the fence and over the screen for a solo home run, his 19th round tripper of the year, and we're tied at 1. The Jack Clark swing and reaction, and if you don't think he thought it was out, I don't know. It's 1-1 through the middle innings. Then in the top of the 8th inning, John Olerud is at the plate against Dennis Lamp. Olerud goes deep off the Fenway wall in center field for a double. More importantly, Joe Carter comes all the way around to score from first base on the play. The Blue Jays take a 2-1 lead against Boston. The 2-1 lead is holding up in the bottom half of the 8th inning when Dwayne Ward pitches to Jack Clark, who's in the middle of things again. This time Joe Carter in right field with the sprawling great catch. Now Tom Henke trying to preserve the win. It's 2-1 Toronto, 2 outs in the 9th inning. Steve Lyons at the plate. He lifts a fly ball to center field that Devon White has no problems with. So Boston falls to the Blue Jays in the final game of the series, 2-1. Dwayne Ward is 5-3. Dennis Lamp is 3-3. Tom Henke earns his 23rd save, tying him with the Major League record for consecutive saves from the start of the season. This was a frustrating game for the Red Sox, exhibited by Tony Pena, who struck out in the 8th inning with the chance to put the Red Sox in the lead, or at least tie the game. It was Dwayne Ward who struck him out to end the 8th inning, the Jays still leading 2-1. And the Jays won that game 2-1 in part because of the Red Sox inability in the top of the 8th inning to convert a double play ball. Joe Carter grounds into a force play. Steve Lyons takes a crow hop and a double pump before throwing, and they only get the runner at second and not at first.